we meet again to discuss another tier list. Another chapter in the Diamond Dynasty story is written. That time of the month, it's time to see what cards have made me pissy and what cards are making me a real happy guy. From S tier to penny pincher, these are the best cards in MLB The Show 22. As always, a like down below would certainly be appreciated. The sheer amount of time I spent splitting hairs on some of these positions, namely corner outfield, has done irreparable damage to my sleep schedule. So subscribe to the channel if you guys are brand new, and let me know in the comment section down below, who do you think deserves what tier? What are some favorite cards, some all-star cards specifically that are really standing out from the program? And let's get into it. Baseball is back from the All-Star break, and Underdog Fantasy has an excellent offer for you. Right now, you guys can use promo code GOMES and get a $100 deposit match bonus on your first deposit. Great chance to go ahead and fill out some pick'em slips with games coming back here. I just saw JJ Matikovich walked it off against the Yankees. Thank God the Twins don't play until Saturday, so I have a little bit more of a break before I have to start hurling expletives at my screen like a Randy Johnson fastball when Emilio Pagan is on the mound. But again, I think it's a great opportunity. It's a lot of fun and a chance to win some money. So promo code GOMES, $100 deposit match. Thank you to Underdog Fantasy. Here we are. Ground rules again. S tier. I believe those to be the #1 candidate if you're going for the best possible team. Of course, the cap is there. I still think it is the best at catcher. If you see an asterisk right there and you're confused, oh, this card doesn't go for 10K, well, it will. All the program cards I do predict to go down to quick sell value. Hell, some of them are already there. And yeah, otherwise it is pretty self-explanatory. Just work ourselves down the ladder here. So at catcher, I think kind of far and away, Mike Napoli has solidified himself as the best catcher. Which, if you told me that when we saw his reveal in March, I would have thought you're a goddamn fool, but here we are. Mike Piazza, also very good, just above Joe Mauer, who I still think is good. I definitely think get that collection done. It's not going to get any cheaper. It's about as cheap as it could ever get, so it can only go up, is what I'm saying. Wilson Contreras and Giovanni Soto, a pair of Cubs catchers right there. Both of them probably not going to last too long there, at least if the Cubs have any sense. It's time to get a nice package from Wilson. I think are very good. Move on to tier 2. There's a noticeable drop-off there. A lot of the tier 1 guys aren't that expensive, so I do think that is good. Kirk, all the future stars. There's Posada and Adley Rutschman still. They're decent options, but again, the cool thing about this year, say what you want about only being able to pick 12 or 18 cards at this point, they all go for quick sell value, so it is still not as good as free. Like, no shit. It's like Xfinity call you up, hey, instead of the $120 a month you pay for a shitty service that almost never works, and God forbid if it doesn't, we aren't here to help you. Or you can get it for free. You choose. Obviously, you're going to want it for free, but it is not that bad. So catchers, a lot of good ones for a low price, which I can't say the same for every position. First base, David Ortiz is a damn beast. Frank Thomas, I am playing Frank over him. I've always bitched about that swing, but for some reason, it feels really good. I'm a firm believer a lot of our issues with swings are some mental thing. It's some psychology that's forcing us. You know, almost we believe, oh, the swing's bad, and you do worse with them. If you have a positive mindset, I sound like a self-help coach right here. You're going to need some self-help as we move on to some of the new All-Star cards that they released after the All-Star game. But Ortiz, I think, is about neck and neck with him, and that card is free, opposed to being a collection. As far as the All-Star first baseman go, Goldschmidt is really good. I wish he had a bit more power. Miguel Cabrera, I kind of slept on that one. 107, 125 contact. The power's not bad. Problem is he has 15 speed. So, you know, if your opponent were to play somewhere that isn't like Yankee Stadium, blank canvas, Minute Maid Park, it could be difficult to hit home runs. And in that scenario, you're not going any further than first. You might get thrown out there with Miguel Cabrera. Pete Alonso's good. These home run derby cards, again, it is difficult to make a tier list for all three difficulties, all-star through legend. I would say it's probably more somewhere in the middle. It is not strictly comp, it is not strictly casual. You know, someone like Pete Alonso's contact is fine, it's excellent. Maybe not excellent, but it gets the job done. Damn it, an all-star difficulty. Just like missionary position. But you go the extra mile. But as you go deeper into difficulties, of course, the requirements for contact, that PCI size is going to need to be bigger. So the Pujols is good. He just has 0 speed. There's a lot of good first basemen right here. Not something that you have to break the bank over. Excellent job on securing the rights for Ryan Howard to get a tier 3 card a week after he drops. Otherwise, you know, a lot of good cards here. A lot of new first basemen in the All-Star Home Run Derby context. Let's move on to second base, where we have a brand new S tier card, Jackie Robinson. 1.3 mil is pretty much a good estimate. I use ShowZone for that. Shout out to them. I don't think it is necessarily a fair price right now. A lot of those cards go for a lot. He's really good, but again, as what I've said, is he's Roberto Clemente with speed. That's an excellent thing. Roberto Clemente is a damn good card, but I don't know for 1.3 mil, especially some of these cards you're probably not going to use. So if you're rich, sure. If you're on the fence, give it a while. Javier Baez still really good. Andres Gimenez is better or equal to Chase Utley at about everything except power against lefties. Very good card. About nobody's talking about him. You still have Justin Foscue right there. Justin, fuck you. Your contact rate is too low. Jonathan India, pretty good. Also, this Michael Chavis. I'm sad to say Luis Arias falls at the end of Tier 2. Lower than some 90 overall Tops Now cards, but hey, here we are. Who could have said I didn't predict that one coming? A lot of good second basemen right here. Again, we get into some older cards. Good to say, for the majority. I know we just saw Luis Arias. A lot of the new cards are in the high tiers. Not a ton of duds. As we see a lot of tier 3 right here. Third base is the exception. I don't think there's really anybody on George Brett's level. Rafael Devers is great. Even him, I think, is a step above, like Brett Beatty. The Machado, it's underwhelming. The Brandon Drury's almost as good. The Nolan Jones is creeping up on the guy. Very sad to say. The Jose Ramirez is good. A switch hitter. Great swing. Can play a lot of positions. It just has low contact, which again, even on all-star difficulty, it's what, 86, 80? That is going to be difficult. A lot of new cards here for third base. The Jeter Downs is pretty good if you guys are running a pretty tight ship here, but I don't think too much has changed at third base for the majority of people, because about everybody has Rafael Devers. Shortstop, Dansby and Tim Anderson. I have 3 in S tier because I honestly can't choose. I do still think Ketel Marte is the slight edge, but I think they're all on the same tier where we kind of bend the rules a little bit. Dansby's great. One issue, he has one quirk in a program where that's kind of the big thing. You see like Juan Soto, even that card in the All-Star program, it's a shitter, but he has 8 quirks. Dansby's got 1. Tim Anderson is, again, about as good as everything as Dansby Swanson, minus like 10 fielding and speed, but better against lefties. Pretty much the same contact against right. One issue, power against righties, but still a very good card. You cannot go wrong starting any of those 3 right there. The Xander's pretty good. A lot of the same shortstops remain. We did see like a shit ton of 105, 110 contact guys with like 60 power. Barry Larkin, Alan Trammell, Jose Iglesias, they really had a fetish for the high contact here, which, hey, I don't have a problem with that. I kind of share the same kink. Corey Seager, I wish I could put him higher than tier 2. Sadly, his contact fails him. But still a decent card with an excellent swing. Please get the July POTM card. Moving on to corner outfield. I do think Juan Soto is the best. I saw this right here from Pardo. He P1'd, or P5'd, 1 of 1'd, Juan Soto. 55 speed. The arm strength is still of that of Drew Brees at the end of his career, but hey, when you hit like he can, and he has 8 quirks, you don't really give a shit. You give him a pass. Babe Ruth is still really good. I'm surprised nobody really surpassed him. Harper's very close. From him to tier 1, Harper and Franmil is not that far, but Clemente still is very good. So either go Juan and one of these two. Franmil, I do think is better than Stanton. I'm not kidding. I'm not clowning on the Yankees right here. The contact is nearly a push. The speed is plus 20. The power is better overall for Franmil Reyes. He has 3 quirks compared to Stanton's 7. He really has nothing over Franmil. A fucking animal, truly. Really good card. I was very surprised because I was a little disappointed, admittedly, when I first saw him. Stanton's not bad. I really had a hard time between him and Yordan. They're about the same card, really. The only difference is Stanton has like plus 20 power against lefties, and Yordan is like plus 8 speed. Otherwise, it's the same shit. They have the same quirks for the most part, in the same, contact and power versus righties and their different handedness. A lot of new corner outfielders here. Nick Swisher's really good. Yeah, the Johnny Gomes at tier 2. These are all still excellent cards. This is such a stacked position right now. Just filled to the brim. The JD Martinez, the Mike Yastrzemski. Hell, Vlad Sr. at tier 2 is a very good card. If some of these would be more, prone, optimal to playing center field, we would put them there certainly, but that's kind of how I have things shaking up for the time being. Castellanos, great. Benintendi, again, high contact, lower power. Those guys are still good. The Schwarber, at the end of tier 2 here, don't sleep on him. He's pretty damn good and certainly better than Home Run Derby. Judge and Soto, disappointing. Their contact lefties are both poor, and Judge specifically, he's a center fielder with 91 fielding. He has 60-something speed. You're not going to want to put him at the 8 spot. So he's going to drop now to gold defense, adding even less value. So, again, there's so many good ones, even at the penny pincher level. If you had, like, Upton or Bichette starting, that's still not a bad option. But you see so many cards here going for cheap. But the top end guys are expensive. And the same thing for center field. In my opinion, the best two are Julio Rodriguez and Cedric Mullins. I do think there's a fair amount between the two here. It's like there's social distancing, or it's like the weird guy on the bus that you don't really want to sit next to. So you just leave space on the bench right there. Cedric Mullins, really good. Don't get me wrong. Jason Dominguez, really good as well. I do think Cedric is definitely better, but tier 1 cards right here really can't go wrong. Everybody from Martin to Cedric are awesome. Julio's even really good himself. Of course, there's just a better version. The elephant in the room right here. Mike fucking Trout at tier 2. Did you ever think you would see the day? And no, it's not because it's December and there's just 99s out. He's a 92. Sadly, he's on a big slump. Colder than Minnesota in the middle of January right now. His contact rate starts at 74. If he's up on inside edge, plus 13, gets him up to 87, parallel 592. That's a usable spot, maybe not on legend difficulty. He's still a good card, don't get me wrong. He's got everything else going for him except the contact versus righties. The Brian Reynolds, that new card, very good. I love his swing. The Buxton here at tier 2, sadly that's the case. Even on all-star difficulty, you are doing yourself a disservice. The PCI is going to look like me after a nice workout in the cold weather. It's going to look like a 1-incher. Pete Crow Armstrong, decent. What a Chad. Otherwise, we have a bunch of future star cards right here. Corner outfield certainly has a lot more depth to it than center field. I will say that. Let's move on to starting pitching. And again, this is a very difficult one. In my eyes right now, I would put Randy, Burns, Fernando, Ryan, and Greg Maddux. That is going to be my starting rotation as we move forward right now. Although Aaron Ashby is very good. I see a lot of comp players using him, a lot of people liking him so far. The control could be a bit better, but hey, I guess beggars can't be choosers. It's a 96 future star card. Hey, Alcantara, he's alright. I didn't love him when I've used him to this point. Chris Sale, I find that I see him pretty well this year on Hall of Fame. and lower. He's just not that effective. Maybe Legends the kicker. Halliday still remains. Luis Castillo, don't sleep. Same thing, Paul Blackburn, very good. Yu Darvish, I haven't heard of too much fanfare. I've not used him yet, but tier 2 I think is fair. Manoah's essentially Luis Castillo. About the exact same if you just added 50 pounds. Otherwise, a lot of good pitches right here. Even tier 3, you see a bunch of usable cards. I will note DeGrom, although he hasn't been great this year, will be back soon. In that case, he will have inside edge, so that card's going to be a little bit more usable. But again, there's so many starting pitchers here. Specifically, let me know your opinion on this one. Other guys I have been enjoying. Dallas is still very good. Bobby Miller, I have a love-hate relationship with. One game, he'll get shelled. The next one, have a near no-hitter. I don't know why. Jorge Lopez is S tier. In my eyes, these 3 relievers you need to get: Devin Williams, Raleigh Fingers, and Jorge Lopez. Chad Green, a very good card that just got released the other day for FREE fucking free. Then we have the new Ryan Helsley, pretty good. The Diaz and Clase, I think are tier 2. I just can't see a ton from them, especially... They're kind of one-trick ponies. Clase's got a 4-seam, cutter, and slider. 2 pitches that move in, and then, you know, something straight. If you know what you're looking for and you have 1 ounce of patience, it's not going to be that difficult. Your mind can probably process what he might throw next. I do want to point out O'Day, Romo, and Melanson are very good. Really good cards that came out for free. A lot of really good, strictly right-handed relievers. Again, we'll see when the lefties come. But in the new program, a lot of those dropped right here. Otherwise, the Wainwright is also pretty decent. That's kind of how I have the right-handed reliever market shaping up right now. And then finally, end things out, Gregory Soto. I didn't see this one coming. His live series card has control of like 25. Joey Gallo has more hits on the season than Gregory Soto has control on his live series card, but this one is something different. Actually, pretty damn good. Those pores are tight. They've been doing their Kegels, man. But Joe Mantiply, actually pretty solid. Will say Zach Britton, he's kind of only on tier 1 just because he has hit 9. I always seem to really read him well. The Aaron Loop is a bronze card right now, sadly. Brooks Raley, if you're looking for a real budget lefty, is probably the best bet. Sinker cutter combo right there. Otherwise, that's how I kind of have things shaping up for the lefty market. We saw 2 new additions in 3 weeks since I did the last tier list. In the previous tier list, there was no new additions. I don't know why. Maybe there's a shortage in lefties, just like there has been for PlayStation 5 consoles. Who knows? But Gregory Soto's the top tier. So as long as we add some good ones, him and Mantiply, I think, are pretty decent. So that's going to do it. That's the tier list. That's how I have things shaping up in this next period. A lot of content. We saw, of course, the All-Star program. We got Home Run Derby cards, All-Star cards, new Battle Royale, and new ranked seasons are coming on Monday. So, let me know in the comments section how you guys feel about this tier list. What new cards that got added within these last 3 weeks are you guys using and looking forward to picking up? Otherwise, leave a like down below, subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day. There comes out E8.